Oh, God. I can't tell what's worse. One says I call her, the other one said Naples. Hello there, everyone. Good afternoon, morning, or good evening. It is the DRUG here, and of course, we're back to streaming. I took Friday off. Friday was a long day physically and all that. Today was as well, but I did promise people I would stream tonight. But we're taking a look at a game that, well, I don't know if it was the video game gods or Tasic or the people who made this game love my videos of the other games I've done for them. But of course, this is Red Riding Hood Enhanced Edition. Now, the reason I said Tasic is Tasic Voice pointed this game out to me a few nights ago. However, as Tasic knows, because I sent him the picture of it because he didn't believe me, and it actually did happen, at about 5 in the morning, what was it, yesterday, I think it was? Yeah, 5 in the morning yesterday, I get an email from the people who made this game saying, quote, "Hello, our comic visual novel Return of Red Riding Hood will be released in the PlayStation Store in early March. It has trophies in Platinum, which are not difficult to achieve, and Steam Platform has a walkthrough for it just in case. We will be glad if you play our game, Return of the Red Riding Hood." And I got a PS America code and a European key as well, but I don't know what I'm going to do with the European key because I'm not European. I might give that to I don't know who. Thanks in advance, Anton and NLB Project Team. So, we are streaming that tonight because since, I got the code and everything. So I would like to thank him for that, It just means my hard work of people who do enjoy my weird sense of freaking humor love me. Why is it that I can be lucky in video games and elderly people at Walmart when I help them give me PSN cards, but I can't get a fine looking woman to give me their ass, I can't get laid, but I can get free games and PSN cards. So, hey, Tasic, we know my sense of humor. But I have no idea what this game's about. I'm going to guess it's about Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. Unfortunately, it is not the porno version of that's on Adult Empire. Again, this is one of those, if you're a child, you probably shouldn't be watching this. And this game has about over, just as a heads up, 50 trophies. So, you trophy owners out there will probably have fun. I covered you with a blanket. Put the lamp on, now sleep. Are they living in a fucking cave, or is the house just made out of mud? Mother always tells me stories before I go to sleep. You can do without a story for one evening. Tomorrow you will have your mother and her stories back. No, I can't fall asleep that way. The girl began to whimper. Please read it to me. Okay, grumbled her older brother, who was sitting on the edge of her bed. Just don't cry. Which tale do you want? Red Riding Hood. Fine, here we go. Won't you get the book? It's in the bookcase on the lower shelf. What for? I remember the story. Listen. Ice is back with a brand new mission. In one village, there was a little girl so lovely that no other girl was her equal. Her mother loved her to distinction, and her grandmother loved her even more. For her birthday, her grandmother presented her with a red hood. The girl always wore her new smart hood every day. I would like to point out, if it's Red Hood, that means she's going to have handguns and start killing people because Batman won't do it. Wow, the artwork is something, isn't it, Tasic? The neighbors would say, I don't want to hear Joe. other TV. There goes Red Riding Hood. I didn't think I was reading tonight. Once her mother decided to bake some pastries, but she wasn't sure what filling to choose. Oh, so I get to choose the filling. Apples, meat, fish, cabbage, or mushrooms. Well, if we fill it with meat, it would be a pot pie. And I can't eat pot pies because I'm allergic to carrots, so meat's eliminated. Cabbage is eliminated because people like to put carrots with that. Mushrooms, no, because I'm not Mario or Luigi. So at least fish and apples. And let's go with apples, because an apple a day keeps the doctor away. They just didn't say what kind of apples. This year's apple harvest was immense, so choosing a filling was an easy decision to make. Her mother took the largest container she had and made dough with it. By the way, guys, before I continue, there is a new Coca-Cola flavor out called Spice. It is raspberry spice Coke with other natural flavors. I've been drinking it since this morning. Kind of tastes like a blue raspberry, Pepsi raspberry, or Pepsi Blue, if anybody remembers me going through Pepsi Blue like it was crack. So I will probably be buying a lot more of these. So look out, children. I will be having to... Well, no, I can't even run now because of my foot. Shit, I will hobble you down or use a buggy. Which, by the way, yes, unfortunately, when I went to Walmart today after seeing my stepdad, they had no buggy, so I had to walk around the store, which was very painful. Finally, when everything was ready, it was time to decide who would carry them. Would Red Riding Hood would carry them, or would Mother carry them? Well... okay. We're gonna have Red Riding Hood carry them? Her mother said, "Why don't you, my little Red Riding Hood, go visit your granny, bring her the pastries and a pot of butter, and find out how she is." "Okay, Mom," replied Red Riding Hood. They took a large... That's a good question. That's a lot of freaking bread. I think that's the pastries, I think, with the apples in it. At least I presume in both. My question is, look at the deer head though on the back. Who shot that? Because we don't see Daddy yet. What, did Mom let her bazookas out and just shoot the deer? Because I gotta be... What? I can admire the fact that the mom's got big tits. I am a single man, and I enjoy those things. She'll make a good flotation device if we get stuck out at sea. Well, that's the joke Mom always told me, you know, when I was in college. Get a woman with big tits so you can have a flotation device. My mom was just as messed up in the head as I was. Her mother saw that the load was too heavy for her daughter and said, "It looks like the basket is too heavy. Maybe we should lighten the weight." I can either say I can do this or say, okay, let's lessen the weight. I can do this. Red Riding Hood slowly dragged the heavy basket down the road, and she did not see birds, bees, clouds, or the sun. She didn't care about the weather. Tensions made her break into a sweat when suddenly she met the wolf. So I guess we're in London because of werewolves in London. She almost bumped into the wolf because she was concentrating on her load. You know, that joke is so easy to say something dirty, I'm not even going to attempt it. When she stopped, she immediately released the basket. Bang! The basket fell to the ground like a boulder. The wolf gazed with astonishment at the sweaty, puffing girl who was red like a beetroot. "Hello, child. What is your name and where are you going?" After recovering her breath, she replied, "My name is Red Riding Hood. I'm going to see my grandmother and bring her presents." The wolf could not help but ask, "Why did you take so much if you could hardly walk?" "I guess I miscalculated my strength. Maybe you can eat a few pastries, asked Red Riding Hood with hope in her voice. No, the wolf scummed up his muzzle after sniffing the pastries. I can't eat that. Too bad, sighed the little girl. By the way... Oh, that's the wolf. By the way, where does your grandmother live? The wolf had nearly forgotten to ask. Here by the edge of the forest, not so far. With an abrupt spurt, she lifted the basket off the ground and dragged herself further while clumbering something, and the wolf ran to grandmother's house. The wolf ran on the short road while running through the forest. The predator spotted the woodcutters. Take the risk and run past, or do not take the risk and go around. Well, we don't want the wolf to die. Maybe we'll get the bad ending. I don't know, because I have a feeling there's a lot of endings. The wolf decided to not push his luck and run around. At the same time, the old lady was ravenous in her home on the edge of the forest. She was eager to eat pickled mushrooms. Okay, maybe she's related to Mario and Luigi. Cans with mushrooms were stored in the cellar, but there was a bowl with a few pieces on the table. Go down to the cellar for mushrooms, eat nothing for now. She was too lazy to get fresh mushrooms from the cellar and ate the ones from the table taken the day before. Go down to the cellar for fresh mushrooms. Who would want to eat mushrooms from yesterday that you left out and forgot to put in the fridge? That sounds like food poisoning. The old lady remembered that she ate mushrooms from the bowl yesterday or the day before yesterday. In a nutshell, she didn't take that risk and went down the cellar to take a few cans of mushrooms. Suddenly, a wooden stick used to prop up the cellar cover broke, and the cover tumbled down with a chatter. Being locked up in the dark, the old lady didn't know what to do. In that moment, somebody knocked on the door, but no sound could penetrate through the cellar. Wolf, because it was him, was already hammering on the door. He thought that nobody was home, but didn't go away and walked the house around. His search was not in vain, for in the way he found open window that was easy to climb through. Inside the house, the gray predator found an old lady's clothing, which he dressed himself in and went to bed. Okay, so we got the Bugs Bunny of let's dress and drag and see if we can fool somebody. The basket was very heavy, and Red Riding Hood was walking slowly. Wolf fell asleep in the old lady's bed. I'm sorry, if she can't tell that's not a wolf, she's an idiot, because I think the big old tail gives it away, you know. Yeah, this just proves something I always thought about even as a kid with Red Riding Hood. She was a freaking idiot. I never liked that story as a kid because I always thought she was an idiot because I'm like, yeah, I don't think my grandmother would have a tail or, you know, would somehow go from being an old light lady to a black furry creature, you know? Anyway, when the girl came inside the house, she saw the sleeping wolf. She left the basket and ran to the woodcutters for help. Oh my god, this one's actually freaking intelligent. Holy shit. Reward for the efforts trophy. What's that one about? Ending award for the efforts found. Okay, so we got our first ending. I wonder. Oh, so you can save. Alright, that's good. They came and drove away Wolf and took out the old lady from the cellar. Then everybody sat down to feast, except for Wolf. Ending. Award for the efforts. No, that's not how it goes, said the surprised girl. After thinking a little, the brother began to tell a new story. In one village, there was a little girl so lovely that no other girl was her equal. Her mother loved her to distinction, and her grandmother loved her even more. Wait a minute. Do we have to keep doing the story over and over again till the little girl is the little girl I'm telling is satisfied that it's the correct one, or she passes out? Cause, oh boy. For her birthday, her grandmother presented her with a red hair, blah blah blah. We've already read that crap. We read that. Alright, well, we done apples, so... What happens if we choose mushrooms? Because that's what Granny likes. This year's apple harvest was immense. Box room and cellar were filled with dried and soaked fruits together with jam, compound and even syrup. Maybe I should use it for filling, the woman thought. But after the very thought about apples, she shuddered because everybody was fed up with it. Instantly, Mother remembered that Granny was fond of mushrooms, so she chose it. She simply made pastries, fried mushrooms with onion, and baked brown-flavored pastries. When it got cold, she put them in the basket. Why don't you, my little Red Riding Hood, go visit your granny and bring her a pot of butter and find out if she is fine? Red Riding Hood replies, you better bring it yourself because I don't feel well myself. Okay, so I can either be an a-hole or say, okay, Mom, let's be a little brat. Mother took the mushroom pastries and left. After a few hours on fresh air, Mother remembered that she hadn't had anything for breakfast that day. We'll eat one pastry, why not? Why don't I eat one pastry, she thought. I need to try them out anyway. After eating it with pleasure, Mother pointed out to herself that her baked goods were a great success. Leisurely continuing on her way, Mother enjoyed the bright sun, warm wind, and green foliage. At the same time, one peculiar detail attracted her attention. She started to see more and more mushrooms along the road. With every step she saw even more. Some of them were growing larger before her eyes. The stems were getting thicker like tree trunks, and the huge capes were soon covering half the sky. Mother managed to pull herself together despite the growing horror, but kept on walking. Why are the woodcutters naked now? What kind of fucked up game am I playing? I'm at a loss for words. Suddenly, a group of woodcutters came out of the forest, somehow without a stitch of clothing on. They surrounded one gigantic mushroom like ants and began chopping it down. That's what I want to know. That's not. I don't remember Little Red Riding Hood being about naked lumberjacks. What kind of fucked up game is this? I don't either. For some time, you will pretty much see the bozo ass if they won't let me remove the woods, but yeah, you can tell they're naked. For some time, that one on the left looks like he's happy. He's like, oh yeah, I'm naked and I've got an axe and I'm chopping down a mushroom. Oh. Anyway, for some time she bashfully cast glazes at them, but when chopped gigantic mushrooms began to fall right on the road near her, Mother uttered a loud scream and ran like hell. The monstrous mushrooms were left behind, but with a messed up vision, Mother spotted something gray and hairy moving in the bushes to her left and right. Icy terror locked her heart, and her lead-like legs were hard to command. Fighting fatigue, the woman kept up her speed until she threw off her pursuers. Meanwhile, an old lady woke up in her house by the forest edge and tried to collect her thoughts by lying in bed. Suddenly, a strange noise reached her ears. It was frightening for her to find that it was the scratching of claws on the door. Why the hell is there a dead giant-ass bear in Granny's room? I don't remember that in the book. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Who is it? She asked in a trembling voice. She heard in response. For a moment, everything was silent, and then the creature pulled the string. When the old woman saw the door opening, half conscious, she dug in deep under the blanket. In the doorway stood Mother. She growled, let the pastries and butter, giggled a bit, dropped down on all fours, and went away. It's unknown how much time Granny hid under the blanket, but when she rustled up the courage to look out from under the covers, there was nobody in the room. Only the basket with pastries and a pot of butter were left on the floor. It was exactly what she needed because after such a disturbing experience, she was very hungry. Ending. Fear has big eyes. What? No way, you're making it up. Tell it the right way. After thinking a little, the brother began to tell a new story. Oh, here we go again. It's like that one meme from Grand Theft Auto. In one village, there was a little, yeah, we know, blah, blah, blah. She was the most beautiful looking woman in the whole village. Her grandmother gave her a red hood because she was so beautiful, and all the other women in the area were jealous, and all the boys wanted to play with Red Riding Hood. Got it. I'm sorry, when I was 9 years old, I was looking at women. Granted, so, I was a weird kid, okay? Besides, at this point, we just saw naked lumberjacks, and her mom pretty much decided to become a she-devil or she-wolf, so anything's possible in this game now. Alright, well, we know what happens with mushrooms. Her mom becomes goes out of her mind. Let's see what happens when we put meat in the filling. Mother checked the box room, went down to the cellar, and found the last salt hunchback salmon for the last year's stock. It lies here for a long time, thought the woman. I better take a piece of meat, it looks much better. But meat was frozen, she had to thaw it out first. Later it was finely cut and fried with onion on a pan. When filling was cool enough, she got down to the pastry shaping. While pastries were on the stove, it was already late, and Mother decided to visit Granny tomorrow. In the early morning, Mother woke Red Riding Hood and said to her, "Why don't you, my little Red Riding Hood, go visit your granny, bring her a pot of butter, and find out if she is fine?" Red Riding Hood replies, okay, this time we're going to go with the little girl and see how this changes. Is it going to be weird or... While Red Riding Hood prepared the presents, it started to rain. The girl looked outside. Large drops were hammering away on the roof, and puddles began to appear on the road. The girl began to ponder whether she should go now or wait the rain out. Let's see what happens when we go out in the rain. I mean, I do like singing in the rain. It is my favorite musical. Apparently, instead, she just... I must have hit the wrong button. It was raining cats and dogs. Red Riding Hood's feet got wet while she was standing in the open doorway watching the storm. She thought to wait out a little longer. She was lying on the bed watching through the window, but the rain wouldn't stop. She finally decided to go because it was a long way to walk and pastries are a perishable product. Red Riding Hood covered the basket with another dish towel and left the house with her gifts. The girl was quickly marching along the now-soaked path. The water was squishing under her feet and trickles of rain were streaming off her hat. Soon she reached Granny's house, but before entering, she pulled the water from her clogs, I guess it's the shoes, squeezed out her apron and the hat. Grandmother was glad to see her visitor. "Come in, quick," she exclaimed. "You got soaked to the skin. Sit down closer to the fire. I'll put the kettle on and we'll have some tea." "No, Granny, not today. I better be going before the path gets too swampy," said Red Riding Hood while putting the still fresh pastries on a dish. "Then take a couple of pastries with you. Eat them on your way back to get warm." The girl wouldn't refuse pastries with meat. She wrapped them in one of the dish towels and put them in her basket. Then she put her clogs back on and went home. Oh, it's the wolf again. We get to finally see him. By the time the rain almost stopped, the air in the forest was cool and humid, and Red Riding Hood got cold. Then she remembered the pastries in her basket. While preparing to eat them with pleasure, the girl suddenly noticed a wolf peeking out from the bushes. The girl froze in surprise. The wolf, cautiously looking around, stepped onto the trail. He was pretty sure that such a little girl couldn't walk through the forest alone, and adults were nearby. Nevertheless, the beast was very hungry, and his keen sense of smell made him aware of the pastries with meat. "Hello, girl," said Wolf. "What is your name and where are you going?" "My name is Red Riding Hood. I bought pastries and butter to my grandmother, and now I'm heading back home," answered the girl, looking at the skinny, wet beast. "If that's skinny, then I'm less than 100 pounds. Can you treat me to the pastries remaining in your basket?" sincerely asked Wolf. Hopefully this says treat him. Red Riding Hood very much wanted to eat all the pastries herself, But looking at the skinny wolf, she decided that he needed them more. Red Riding Hood wiped off a tear from her cheek, put the pastries on the glass, and strode away. The wolf ate the pastries with pleasure and felt much better. What a nice little girl, thought Wolf, feeling grateful. As he turned to head home himself, his next thought made him stop. I didn't say thanks. The beast altered his direction and decided to return back to the trail to track Red Riding Hood. Oh, what I have a friend, that's not a good idea. Meanwhile, Red Riding Hood noticed that she didn't have her hat on. I probably left it in Granny's house, thought the girl. I need to go back for it. At the same time in the house by the forest edge, the old lady was drinking tea with her pastries. At first she ate a couple, then 2 more. The baked goods turned out to be too delicious, so the hag couldn't control herself and ate a few more pastries. Let's see, we got some books here too. The Barbarian in the Subterranean Caves, Wild Allen Quest, The Adventurous 4. Soon she overate and decided to lie down, but this wanted to ease her stomach ache, and the old lady decided to take some stomach drops. She went to the cupboard. There were some books on the upper shelf and assorted medicines were on the bottom. The hag easily found the pair with the proper potion, took a sip of green liquid, which made her brows and kilt. The medicine was made of wormwood and had a bitter taste, but would help to remove her old bowels. What the fuck am I reading? Drink some more potion or wait till the potion takes effect. Drink some more potion and see what happens. Thinking that a small potion would not be enough, Granny took a few more sips. Now this medicine reminded her very much of a drink she had when she was younger. It was called I can't pronounce that word, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. The old lady returned to bed and after a while felt better. She even started to doze off, with some monstrous, inappropriate buzzing woke her up. Granny turned her head to where the buzzing sound was coming from. She was surprised to see a large clay pot on the table with yellow sunflowers in it. Very strange, thought the old lady. There were no flowers there before. Maybe Red Riding Hood brought them here. The sound calmed Granny down, but the input sound wouldn't stop. She had to get up to find out what the noise was, and seeing that the buzzing was coming from the table. When Granny came closer, she noticed that there was a pomegranate lying behind the jug, and a bumblebee was flying around it. The hag took a nearby towel ready to drive it away. She opened the window and couldn't believe her eyes after what she saw. Cows with thin legs were slowly roaming in the yard. Forgetting about the bumblebee, the old lady closed the window, returned to bed, and covered herself with the blanket up to her ears. By the time Red Riding Hood returned to Granny's house, she pulled the string and went in. The girl found her hat laying on a chair. She tipped it across the room so as not to wake Granny up, and took the hat. Suddenly there was a noise from behind her. The girl quickly turned around and saw her Granny with a rolling pin in her hand. Put that hat back, you, said the old lady with an imitating tone. It belongs to my granddaughter. But I am your granddaughter, Red Riding Hood. Bullshit, you freaking liar, said the hag sternly, while looking with disgust at a weird creature consisting of many colored triangles. Put it back and get out of here while you can. I'm your granddaughter and this is my hat, desperately screamed the frightened girl. That's it. I warned you. After those words, the hag hit Red Riding Hood on her hand with the rolling pin. The girl rushed to the door, and the medicine-hatted hag pursued her. In the meantime, Wolf was following Red Riding Hood's scent, and soon reached Granny's house. Where the predator was hiding in the nearby bushes thinking of what to do next, the door busted open and screaming Red Riding Hood jumped out of the house. The old hag with the rolling pin was chasing her. When the predator saw that Red Riding Hood was in danger, he jumped out of the bushes and attacked the old hag. The scared girl quickly ran back home. Why Wolf attack? Mother was astonished to hear her daughter's story and, to say honestly, was rather skeptical about it. She stroked her daughter's head trying to calm her down, and her child eventually fell asleep. The next morning they both went to see if grandmother was alright. She was peacefully drinking tea with butter when Mother and Red Riding Hood abruptly rushed inside the house. Unfortunately, the old lady wasn't able to say much about yesterday's events because she barely remembered anything, and even when she got those long scratches on her neck. Mother only shook her head after saying goodbye. She strolled with her daughter back home, ending, "Why wolf attached Granny?" "No way, you're making it up. Tell it the right way." After thinking a little bit, the brother began to tell her, "Yeah, so pretty much it seems like you can't get the true ending until you, most likely, I guess, tell it the way your little sister wants it, but that's what I'm thinking as well, which if that's the case, oh good lord, because there's like 51 trophies, that means, oh my god, that means you have to get the ending of each one with apples, meat, fish, cabbage, and mushrooms, and then choose the other options you didn't choose the first time. Oh boy. Well, this platinum would take a while, that's for sure. Huh. Well, let's do one more. We're going to do the one with fish. Wow, that's a giant fish. Mother checked the box room, went down the cellar, and found the last salt hunchback salmon from last year's stock. Wait, last year's stock? That doesn't sound fresh. It lies there for a long time, she thought, and my cellar can stay preserved for years. She grabbed the salmon and climbed up. She thoroughly extracted all the bones from the fish and began shaping pastries because the dough had already risen. Mother baked pastries and says to her daughter, yada. Alright, well, I guess since... okay, let's see what happens when we say, Mom, you go do it. I'm too tired. Mother left her daughter to sleep and started to prepare to set out on her journey to Granny's house. The pastries themselves floored Red Riding Hood very much. Uh-oh. Let's take a pastry from the basket. Nothing could happen, right? I should take one pastry, decided Red Riding Hood. No one would notice. After this thought, she rushed up to the table like a black cat attacking its prey, grabbing a pastry and returning to bed. Soon Mother appeared in the room, already dressed up for her trip. She took the pastries, kissed her daughter, and left the house. The weather was marvelous. Spring sun was warming up in the air. Birds were tweeting. Wait, birds have Twitter? Interesting. Snow still remained somewhere in the forest, but the path was already free from the winter cover, and the woman slowly marched over soft but no boggy ground. Reminds me, I forgot to share this on Twitter. The walk was long, but after a few hours on fresh air, the woman felt that the smells of the forest were mixing with the smell of the still-warm pastries with humpback salmon. This time, since the last time she ate one, she ended up on an acid trip. Let's not eat a pastry. There was loud rumbling in her stomach, but the woman firmly decided all the containers are for Granny only and kept on going. As always, Hungry Wolf was roaming around. For the whole week he had nothing for dinner. Aw, that poor little wolf. That wolf deserves some food. Suddenly, the wind carried a small... a Duke one, who cares? That's my answer to that. Suddenly, the wind carried a smell of fish from the trail. Wolf liked meat much more, but now he was prepared even to graze. Taking in the scent from the air, Wolf cautiously prowled to the trail and his heart joyfully began to beat, expecting double prey. His first intention was to attack the poor woman immediately, but life in the forest made him cautious, so the beast didn't hurry, sliding slowly after his victim. Moreover, she could lead him to very larger prey. Saliva was dripping off his fangs and his stomach was monstrously whining. Snatch those pastries immediately, ask for pastries, keep waiting to eat everything and everyone. If I recall the story, I believe the wolf ate everybody, at least in one of them. So we're going to keep waiting to eat everything and everyone. The psychopathic predator, I feel like that word is easier to say than what that one is. took his courage in both paws and decided to track the woman down. Anticipating more lavish prey, his intuition served him well. As soon as they approached a hut on the forest edge, he waited until Mother entered the hut. Wolf rushed ahead, and after slipping his muzzle through the closing door, he broke into the premises. Peaceful tweeting of the forest birds was interrupted by harrowing woman cries, but after a few seconds, everything was quiet. Only an insatiable chopping was resounding from behind a slightly open door. After swallowing his prey, Wolf noticed pastry scattered over the floor. Yeah, let's eat the pastries too, why not? Gluttony trophy. Mother, old hag, and fish pastries. A great mix. Will Wolf outlive this night? No one knows. Ending, gluttony. You must be wrong. There was another ending, the little girl said with confidence. After thinking a little, the brother began to tell a new story. So yeah, pretty much Tassik's right. I probably have to get every ending to get the true ending. But we're not going to do that on stream because I want to keep my sanity. So I'm going to make a save right here. And we're going to end this stream. I will probably have another one going up in a little bit, guys. But that's been Red Riding Hood. I will probably platinum this game on my own accord. And will probably show me getting the platinum on the clip show. But until then, thank you for watching, guys. Again, thanks for the code. And I will see you all in a little while. Until then, tally-ho!